Hi crafty friends, this is card number 20 in Full Deck Challenge 3. I have my postage stamp, which is my constant. I love the bright colors of the stamp. And then my carryover item from last week is going to be the strips of paper that I used for the weaving. I'm going to incorporate a few of these somehow in today's card. Our prompt for this week was paper doll. So the first thing my paper doll is going to need is some kind of face or head. I've gone to my Art by Marlene die cut book because I felt like working on something quirky today. While I'm paging through looking for my perfect doll head, I'm also pulling out some flowers that I find inspiring. I love the reds and the orange and yellows. I feel that they're going to match the stamp that I have chosen. And I probably won't use all of these, but I'm pulling out whatever I am finding interesting and I think I could work with. I couldn't decide between these two. I loved the one with the blue hair because she had the flowers on her head, but then I loved the one with the purple hair because she had shoulders, which would make it easier for me to attach the card. I also love her hairstyle. But that hair color did cause a few issues, but they got resolved. The first thing I'm going to do is attach my playing card to the shoulders of the paper doll. I'm using double-sided tape for this. The prompt for next week is puzzle. Once that's stuck down, I'm going to trim off the excess and do the shaping along the shoulders. So now we have the base of our paper doll. Keeping to our overall theme of mini collage for this challenge, I'm going to add some collage pieces. This piece that I'm using now is an index card that I had just laying around, and one day this week I just decided to take a permanent marker and just write the words daydreaming across it. It actually came out really nice, so I'm going to use it now as collage background. Using a few elements from last week's strips and then some book pages, I'm just building on that collage, trying to get something that's appealing. I am going to let some of the pieces stick out longer. I'm not going to stay refined to the shape and size of that playing card. I'm trying not to overthink it too much, so I'm just going to start sticking down. I'm using Mod Podge for this, and I'm applying a layer of Mod Podge over all the collage pieces just in case I decide later to add any kind of wet medium on top. I might paint or add some ink. I don't know yet. A lot of my work is intuitive and I let the paper speak to me and tell me what to do next. I'm loving these index card handwritten bits that I have. I love the contrast of the black and white, and I'm applying some of them sideways and others straight just for additional interest. Now a few pieces from last week's strips. It's never too late to join in the Full Deck Challenge. You can join at any time. This is the third deck. I will put the playlist to deck 1 and 2 in the description box below. And if you're on Facebook, you can join my group. Just search Full Deck Challenge Group. I'm going back to the die cut book to find a few more pieces. I'm feeling at this point that the yellow and red flowers that I have chosen don't really go well with her purple hair. So I've changed my mind and I'm going through trying to find more turquoisey purple elements. And this is your sign that it's okay to change your mind. This took a little while, so I'm not going to drag you through the entire process, but I did find a few purple turquoisey flowers and other elements. While I'm editing this and I look at her with just the black and white on her dress so far, maybe I should have gone for black and white. That would have looked cool too. Anyway, I'm going to continue on with the turquoise and purple. That's what felt right at that moment. I then have this piece of design paper that I'm going to place here that will differentiate between her neck and the dress. These beautiful rose die cuts were looking really cute. I love them and matched her hair, but I wasn't quite feeling it at this point. But I did decide to give her a blue crown, which I stuck down before I changed my mind. Then I decided to go back to my original idea of the orange and red. And I thought to myself, does it really need to match her hair? No, so I changed my mind again and went with my original idea. Instead of placing the flower as a whole somewhere where it'd be quite overbearing because it's quite large, I have cut it in half and I'm sticking half on the one side and half sort of just behind her on the shoulder to balance that out. Now, as you can see, most of the playing card has been lost. We do have that diamond and half the 7 at the top. But what I want to do is add another piece. This is from another deck. Keeping the 7 of diamonds, I'm going to add one more piece as part of the collage so we can keep that playing card essence. And you may ask, why am I using a card from another deck where I could have just cut the original card in half and then just used that? But that is true, but I didn't know at that point in time what I was actually going to be doing. I just started sticking down the background collage. I never really have an end goal in my mind. I have an idea of what I want to do, but never really the steps that I'm going to do to get there. I'll build it as I go. I feel we need to create some balance. I'm going to add the red flower in the bottom right-hand corner. The red will also pick up from the diamonds in the cards and the bit of red that's in the other flowers. Don't be afraid to stick things behind other elements. We always tend to stick things on top and layer from the bottom to the top, but I'll often stick things behind, peeping out from underneath, which creates a different dimension. Another small piece of black to create some more balance. And yes, I'm going to add a little bit of white gesso just to soften some of the elements. I'm feeling that it's a little bit disjointed and I'm hoping that the gesso will help it blend into one and make everything uniform. It's also going to lighten the overall feel. She already has a lot of flowers, so she's a floral girl. So let's continue on that theme. I'm going to add a few more flowers. Again, I'm going to cut one in half and add some at the top sort of under her collar. I think that helps balance things out than sticking all the elements whole. I then remembered I had a few little tiny gemstones in different colors, so I'm going to add a little bit of bling to my floral girl. I'm going to add to the center of the blue flowers. I'm going to also add to her crown and then on her forehead in between her eyebrows. As there's already a mark there, I'm going to add a clear gemstone. And I'm also going to add some white splatter. This will again lighten up the overall look and create cohesion. I'm using my acrylic ink here and the color is called titanium white. I'm not putting any on her face, just mainly on the florals on her dress. And then one more thing that I want to add before I finish her off is some stitching. I've run her under the sewing machine and done some bunched thread just in 2 areas on her dress. I've used a white thread. It's quite faint, but it creates good texture and I love the overall feel that it gives to my floral girl. I really hope you enjoyed this video for card number 20 in Full Deck Challenge 3, and I hope you are inspired to create your own paper doll. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell so you're notified every time I upload new content. Thanks again for watching. Happy creating, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.